To the Charles Lewis natural area here. It's a different part of the forest off 403. They have some really nice trails in here. I'm on the Clark Loop. It's only about 1.5 miles or so. I'll bring you around. I've come up a good bit in elevation. You start off down in the bottom there, right off 403, PA State Route 403. Go along. Trail's pretty narrow, but it's definitely doable. Like I said, I'm in just some like knockoff Converses, and I'm doing all right. It is a steep trail, and holy cow, everybody and their mothers tagged this tree. Look at that. Wow. That's insane. Kind of feel bad for the tree. That's a bit ridiculous. Wow. Okay. Well, let's keep on going down the trail. There's probably a lot of cool places to look for petrified wood, maybe some other fossils, and like where you get those rock overhangs like that. This trail's pretty cool. That's a nice shot of the valley there. Real nice shot of the valley. Definitely gonna have to come back and do more of the trails here. And well, one of my favorites, get off trail and really see what's out here, because I've seen a lot of big rock faces, a lot of cliff faces, and a lot of really interesting looking little tributaries that come down on both sides of the mountain. And so there's probably a lot of excellent water features, boulders to see, maybe even a cave or two, who knows. It's not the biggest park here. It's only 384 acres it says, but that's enough land to get lost in. Trail's kind of widening out. Probably can't see them, but there's a lot of big boulders up there on that side. Beautiful sunny day. It is chilly. It's I don't know, probably not even 40, but the sun feels excellent, and I'm kind of pretty well acclimated to the cold. I don't mind it. You don't sweat. There's a nice little pool down there. Looks like somebody dammed it off, maybe. This trail does get nice and wide here. This is the widest the trail has been. Said I have no idea where this goes. If I had any equipment with me, this was pretty impromptu. I would try and walk home from here, but that mean leaving my car, and I don't want to do that. Plus, that's as the crow flies, maybe 15 miles or so to my house. I mean, that'd be a solid all day's hike, which would definitely be a lot of fun and doable. Not with what I've got right now. This is just some nice little pooling area. The run's starting to widen out. Terrain's not as steep. We're kind of out of the sheer part of it. No wildlife yet. Finn will be mad. God forbid I went somewhere without him. This is a cool spot here. I'm sure that's probably a popular summertime spot all along here. It's just smooth, flat rocks. You know, I've been showing you a lot of the natural water slides that I've seen. Probably the most famous place for natural water slides around here would be the Ohio Powell. And but that place gets packed. You can't find a place to park, and then you're gonna stand in line like you would at an amusement park to take your turn to slide down a rock when it's 97 degrees outside. So it's really touristy, which is why I like these places that obviously people know about, but this one's probably a little more well known in our region. So I imagine that you do get quite a few people in here. But today, I haven't seen a soul. Going along. Nice big woods. So, a lot of places where, like right there, groundwater is just seeping out of the hillside. There's a lot of that around here. Have a fairly high water table for being in the mountains. Wouldn't guess it. There's a lot of water out here, and a lot of that happened whenever they whenever they clear cut everything. I mean, there wouldn't have been a tree standing in 1860. It was part of what was called the Pennsylvania Desert, where they took everything. And well, that created a lot of boggy, swampy areas. It completely changed the scope and the fauna of our forests. And right now they've had 150 years to recover, and though they are not like they were, they are very healthy, and it's excellent that, you know, I'm fortunate enough to be in an area where I can come out and enjoy stuff like this. It's a beautiful morning walk through the woods. Oh, it's so peaceful in here. Just the sound of the water. excellent big forest. You're noticing all the yellow markers. That's for the Clark Loop that I'm on. And the black ones, there's a larger one. It's the Mountain Loop. The Mountain Loop's, I think, a little over 3 miles. The one I'm on's like 1.6, I think. Here I'm kind of on a... Holy cow. Let's see what this post reads. Now I'm on the Rager Mountain Trail. So, the Clark Run Trail, which I'm on, says it's that way. Clark Run Trail's that way. Rager Mountain Trail. Well, I'm still seeing yellow, so let's keep going. See what I'm looking at right now. Beautiful morning in the Charles F. Lewis Natural Area. This Rager Mountain Trail seems to be an old logging road. Talking about that earlier. There are old logging roads all over the mountains in Pennsylvania. Most of them are open to be explored. Big clearing up here. Maybe there will be something that says why. Might have been an old homestead out here, old farm. Hard to say. Not seeing any signage. Don't much care to go that way, so let's cross here. About as good a spot as any. The only thing I'm curious about is I've got a very large ravine that I'm going to have to cross whenever I get back to the parking lot. And I started on the opposite bank over there. Now I'm over here, coming back on this trail. So I guess we'll see when we get there. But it's going to get really steep, and it'll be cool to see it from this side. This is the perfect time of year to be out hiking, because usually there are just tons and tons of flies, mosquitoes, especially when you're by a creek. And I guess you could say that regardless of what Punxsutawney Phil says, spring is pretty much arrived. I know we're probably going to get another big snowstorm we usually do in March, but there's some daffodils. But as I was saying, fall and early spring, one, before it gets hot and miserable, and before all the bugs come out, and you can actually see the landscape, because this will get real thick and green, and the old proverbial, you miss the forest for the trees. Plus, I like this time of year. One thing I've noticed on this side of the trail versus the other side, most of the other side was pretty narrow footpath, which was a lot of fun. This side's really wide, and it's got a ton of moisture. Nice little feature. I mean, the trail's soaked. Which, if you're not in proper hiking shoes, like I'm not, this is pretty impromptu. Gotta watch out for wet terrain. It's not much fun. Out around the water hazards. Like being on a golf course. A lot of saturation on this trail. Big valley we're coming into. It gets real steep up here. That's a big tree. Like, that tree is massive. Oh man. So again, you know, out here on this side, and it's starting to get pretty steep down the bank on the ravine. Just gonna keep going on here and see what comes up with this trail. See, it's starting to get steep. Massive burl on that tree. Oh, sorry about that. Well, see what I'm saying? I like to get off trail there. There's a, I don't know if it'll let me zoom in. Yeah, well, massive rock formation way up in there. And I'm gonna have to remember where that is and see how big it actually is. I know that was a piss poor look at it. But gaining some pretty good elevation up here where I'm at. Started the trail, I was down in the valley on the side. Now I'm up on top. Almost, well, not really on top, because there's still a good ways up to go, but I'm on the rim. Looks like there's some big rocks up here. A little boulder field, and I assume that if you go down over that bank, it probably get pretty big. There's some more boulders up in there. Lots of places to go off trail and explore. I'm doing a kind of like an impromptu scout of this region. Never been in here before. The state put in these these trails. This is an old logging road that they've utilized as a trail, and I'm gonna check it out, get a good lay of the land, and come back and then do some proper hiking, getting off-road. Got to get across this tennis shoes. You can see I did not come prepared for this venture. Didn't know what I was getting into, but I drove by this place a lot and I couldn't help myself, so I had the time today, so here I am, and I'm not regretting it at all. This is a really, really nice hike. Difficulty level, I mean, on the other side it's steep in spots, but this is like a good beginner's hike. Coming up on some big rock outcropping up here, it looks like, so that should be pretty cool. And I'm wondering how this is going to come back to the parking lot. I'll find out when I get there. My eyes are deceiving me. It looks like there's a gate up there. Maybe they don't want goofy people like me going and playing on the rocks. Here we've got Rager Mountain Trail, Clark Run, that's what I'm on. And let's just go up and see what this gate is. Curiosity. That, and I want to see these rocks. And the trail goes down below it, but I can't help myself, so they look really cool. They got some laurel growing over them. Oh yeah, this is cool. Okay. There's a gate. Right on. Definitely a place to come explore. We'll just go in a little bit. I found a lot of places like this, and one thing I'm hoping to not run into is a big hibernating creature. But this is a pretty sweet place. Right on. I'm digging it. Before I get too sidetracked and too involved in goofing around without any backup proper equipment, or nobody knows I'm here right now either, except for you watching, so be smart, play another day. Let's head back to the trail. But said this was a scouting mission. Scouted that so we can come back. Come back with my boots on. And more than likely, my brother Nick probably wouldn't bring Finn up in here. He He's very, very protective, especially when Nick and I are hiking, and he doesn't take to strangers, and an off chance somebody else is up here with their pup. Just one headache I could deal without. We'll keep him to where, who knows. He's just always been super protective. He thinks everything's out to get me, I guess, but hey, it's good and bad. He's my buddy. Come down here, we can get a look at the rocks from the bottom side on the trail, and this trail actually gets pretty bouldery, so we'll see what we come into. I don't know if I have the chat feature on here or not. There we go. That is a huge, huge bush of mountain laurel. I love mountain laurel. It's our state plant. And come here and about 2 more months and the laurel will just be covered in beautiful white flowers. Very pretty, and it makes awesome canopy. That's a cool place up there. I just kind of scouted the top of it. Now I'm back down on the trail below, continuing out my reconnaissance of the, I think it's called the Charles F. Lewis Natural Area. Accessible on PA State Route 403. Down a couple miles from the Dilltown exit if you're taking US 22. But I mean, this is a pretty sweet boulder field, and when I have the right kit, be able to come in and really check that out. And it looks like there's a pretty sweet outcropping with a vista point up there. And that ridge wall, it just continues. It's pretty big. Pretty, that's fairly typical for things that I've found here, you know, in the Laurel Highlands. Starting to hear the water again. Massive rock wall. Let's go check out this outcropping. Might be a pretty cool vantage point. Wow. Good look at the cliff anyway. There's some birds yelling at me in the background. You know, one thing I have not seen in here yet is a game trail. Alright, that's pretty sweet. All the way out there, that little speck. It's the Conemaugh River. Got that huge formation behind me. That goes down pretty steep. Coming on back to the trail. All right, back to the trail. See the highway. Oh, here's the highway. Thought I saw it, but that'd be a fun climb. Bring your ropes and your gear. It's a big tree. Just following the yellow blazes. Awesome rock wall. Huge ridge. One thing that's awesome, although like Pennsylvania, we don't have our highest mountain, Mount Davis, only 3,400 feet, but it is very steep, and you get these awesome outcroppings of rock, really cool ridge lines, a lot of different challenging terrain. We have a lot of mountain streams and gorges, and every single one there's something that's unique to see. And I love it. I love getting out here. Very lucky to live where I do, that I have access to this. I mean, I could walk out of my house and it would take me all day, but I could get here, camp, and then walk back. Or I can just drive 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes up the road. But just awesome. Picture a big cat sitting up there just watching me, wondering what in the world I'm doing down here. Typically, I mean, I've seen cars parked. I'm in here, driving by it, and for as big as the place is, I don't necessarily know how often you'd really run into someone. That's just cool. On a nice day like today, I would expect to have at least run into somebody. These boulders are awesome. Another cool thing here in the Laurel Highlands, we have some of the oldest exposed rock in the world. So you just, on top of some of these boulders, you wonder who or what else also saw these millions of years before you did. we have a geologic layer called the Loyal Hanna layer, and I don't know if this is part of that layer or not, but the Loyal Hanna layer is like the oldest exposed rock in the world, and in geology it's a big deal. So I mean, that's cool. On some old mountains. I always wanted to go back in time and see the Appalachians when they were young. They said comparatively they were probably about the size of the Rockies in height, so that has just been really cool to see. This is a crazy landscape in here. A lot of fun. Like you could play hide and seek forever here, or like this would be an epic place for paintball if the state would allow you to play paintball in here. That would be great. Nobody home. That's very good. They say that our bear population is doing really, really good. And we had some awesome numbers for bear this year. I don't hunt bear myself. That's cool. That big rock outcropping. But there's some snow. They said that over a third, I think it was, if I'm wrong, you can look it up, and I'm sure I'll get the comments that everybody will tell me. But I think they said over a third of our black bears taken this year were over 600 pounds. And there were several over 700. That's a dang big black bear. I mean, usually, you're looking at maybe 350 to 400 pounds. I would probably say is the average. But I mean, 300 pound bear, heck, even a 50 pound cub could rip you up. I've only run into a bear like once or twice, but not on this mountain. I've seen sign of them, haven't seen them. Although other than hibernation, there really is no reason for a bear to even be up in here. There's not much for them to eat, and I mean, there's no game trails, so there really is no reason for a bear to be here other than to hibernate. Hear a train in the distance. It's like PA jungle. I said earlier that this was like a beginner trail. That was before I got on this part. This part is not a beginner trail. So much climbing opportunity here. I mean, you could I grew up rock climbing. My dad was a big rock climbing fanatic. He actually had built for us like a 40-foot rock tower in the yard because he loved it so much. But he went to college out in Lafayette, Pennsylvania, by the Delaware Water Gap, where there is badass climbing out there. And I look at a lot of this stuff here, and there's so many spots where you could belay, and you could do horizontal climbs, a lot of vertical climb, and there's even some stuff, I guess, depends on how comfortable and daring you are, to free climb as well. Or just sit on top, meditate, and eat a sandwich. That's also good. Here's the terrain. Really good way to break an ankle if you're not careful. Looks like we're coming down into the tail end of this ridge. Initially, I wanted to metal detect, and then I saw a trail, and well, now I'm out here. And it's crazy, you can still hear the highway, hear the train, but I mean, you look out, you feel like you're nowhere. And that's what's awesome. It gives you the, other than the auditory signals, everything visual says that it's just you and nature. Wow. That's crazy. Check that out. That old stump, keeping visual. That is a huge slab of rock. Well, and we're back to getting pretty steep again, it looks like. But we're not going down. Not going down. Big and open out here. Well, not open, but big. You never know, there's a huge rock formation, massive ridge line right there. Laurel just hides everything. Very tail end of that ridge. We got up on top of it instead of going around in front of it. And now it looks like we are in a different zone. Wooded forest top. Wooded mountain top. Top of the forest would be the canopy, I guess. If we want to get technical. Staying just loud enough to not surprise anything, but quiet enough that if there is wildlife to see, I might stumble upon it. It is crazy though, I haven't seen one deer trail. In fact, I haven't seen a deer track. So I don't know where they are. Because this is an excellent time, again, and I'm always on the lookout to hunt for some sheds. Okay, now I'm on a different trail. I'm looking for my trail that has the yellow blazing, which is the Clark. I guess that one's for another day. They probably go to the same place. Now, if you go back into my shorts, I have a video called, it's like, dude, is that your house? But it's overlooking, on the highest point out, overlooks this whole valley here. You can see the crest of the hillside there, mountainside, and from the vantage point way out, you look down this entire valley. You see 403, 56, Conemaugh River. See Blairsville out in the distance, and it kind of gives you a scope for just how big this place is. There's a deer right there. I've been saying this whole time, haven't seen deer, haven't seen wildlife. And there you are. Haha. There they go. That's awesome. Oh man, that made the whole hike right there. I was saying I didn't see any deer, no sign of wildlife, no deer trail. And there we go. There's about 3 of them. That's wonderful. Getting back into some craggy rock. You can see the river down there. Scrubby stuff. Here we go. I bet you the deer taking that. Might be a vantage point up here. Maybe, maybe not. But you don't know if you don't go. All right. All right, guys. I've brought you along an hour. Right on. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Later.